There was a major hole in the Kakhovka Dam in Kherson, which is a Russia-held region in Ukraine. Now, there was a massive flooding because of that particular, bombing of that dam. You had hundreds of thousands of people living downstream.
Collapsed.
It's the biggest dam in Ukraine, or now was the biggest dam. These are aerial shots. Take a look at that. People have brought out their motorboats, surfboards, and the perils of the people. It's quite clear. Let's not forget there's a nuclear reactor also, a nuclear plant that's also nearby in this particular locality. How does one survive? I mean, people were asked to pack up that's the water gushing down.
That is the wall of the dam that's been destroyed.
Apocalyptic like situation. I mean, won't you be scared if you saw this? If this was coming for you, wouldn't you be scared?
Well, two things, Kabir. One is Kherson, the area where we have the Russian presence in Ukraine area, they are holding it there, and Putin has in fact blamed the Ukrainians for going ahead and breaking the dam and resulting in the flooding in this region, probably hinting that Ukraine wanted some kind of a tactical delay and problem for the Russians who are holding on to Kherson. So that could be one of the reasons. But another thing, as you rightly pointed out, there are crucial infrastructure there. But then there is an interesting article that's come online, especially from the Al Jazeera, which is putting out a very worrisome picture on this. And they are talking about displaced landmines. Because of the flooding, the flood could, dislodge a lot of landmines, and it could land up in different places. And it is going to be quite dangerous because there could be zones where the landmines could be
popping
up somewhere randomly. It could be anywhere. Once the waters subside, and also at the moment, since because of the flooding, if those landmines are there, it is going to be quite dangerous, Kabir.
Absolutely. Just take a look at these visuals, Varghese. You've got a drone, and there's a man with a small boat right next to it. You've got the drone that is delivering water to this woman, this little kid. In the other video, the woman, and people who are essentially stuck in their homes in Kherson. So the use of drones, just imagine how much of drones we're already using.
Now, these are, there is a huge, once the dam...
It's dropping a bottle of water.
Yeah. In fact, once
people out with their boats, take a look.
Once the dams were breached, the first thing that was raised as a concern is that a lot of people will not be having drinking water for quite some time. That was the first thing that came out.
Because total contamination.
Because contamination, and also your stored water for drinking purposes has also vanished. So this is the situation that many of them are facing. Also, there is an initial report that's coming in that around 42,000 people in the first step itself could be affected because of this flooding that could happen, or rather is happening. And most of the flood waters have reached southern Ukraine region is also what is being said. But the blame game goes between whether it is the Ukrainians who did it or the Russians who did it, both of them having their valid reasons, saying that each one would use this as for a strategic purpose. The Ukrainians, the Russians say, are doing it to slow Russian advance and also to weaken the hold of Russia on Kherson. But at the same time, the Ukrainians are saying that this is an attempt by the Russians to tie down the Ukrainian military in rescue operations and not in the war situation, so that they can take advantage of this. So this is the kind of accusation that has been put forward by each of them.
A dog going on his walk, people inside the lanes, the by lanes, now having to travel through, small boats. People who have the privilege and can afford motorboats, have had them at home, are using them as well. I saw visuals on Twitter. Now, thousands have fled as flood levels rised in Ukraine after the dam was destroyed. 2,000 people have been evacuated in Ukraine-held flood zone, where water reached its highest level. This is almost like a tsunami-like situation, isn't it, Varghese?
It is, because you're talking about this dam accumulating, so much of water, And also reports have coming in that 3 people have died due to this flooding already. So the people are in fact finding it tough. The Ukrainian authorities have said they don't know what's happening in Russian-held areas where the flooding has happened, and have requested the citizens, if any, to move to safer locations. Meanwhile, on their side of the border, or the line which they are holding on to, they have asked the local administration to ensure that the citizens are evacuated out. So, and clearly right now they've also appealed for global aid, and they've said that the West has been slow in giving the aid required for the massive situation that they are facing right now.